Hello, my name is Paige Evans, and I am doing my presentation over Cesare Lombroso. So in this presentation, we'll first start with covering his life, then we will move on to his work, and then we will end with his legacy. So starting off, Cesare was born November 6th, 1835 in Verona, Italy to some wealthy Jewish parents. So they were able to support him fully throughout school, so he was able to go to school for a lot longer than most people in this time period. He initially studied literature, linguistics, and archaeology before he finally moved and ended in medicine in 1852. He ultimately excelled at this medical studies at the University of Pavia, I think is how you pronounce it, and he became a surgeon in 1858. He then moved on and served as an army physician during the Second World War for Italian independence. He then later became a professor of the disease of mind and medical law and psychiatry. His interest in studying skulls and physical characteristics were what led him to ultimately pursue his work in criminal behavior. He married Nina, I can't pronounce her last name, in 1870, and then he had 5 children, including one of his children, Gina, who continued his work. He was very influenced by his son-in-law, Ferrero, to consider the social factors in criminality, but ultimately, you'll see in the next slide, he pretty much just focused on the physical characteristics. Cesare, throughout his entire career, faced a lot of criticism from peers, but he always remained very firm and always backed up his theories with his evidence. His most influential work was called The Criminal Man, originally published in Italian in 1878, and it gained a lot of attention. Later in life, he moved to a more paranormal and spiritual side because he suffered from diseases, and ultimately his mind and physical health deteriorated. And so this kind of spiritualism, paranormal, working with mediums, part of his life was ultimately super controversial. He finally died in 1902, but he is very remembered for his contributions to criminology. And then, fun fact, his head is actually preserved on display at the Museum of Psychiatry and Criminology in Turin, Italy. So Lombroso was the prominent Italian criminologist, and most of his contributions to the field of criminology occurred in the late 19th century. His work has since been fascinating and sparked many controversies and continues to be a subject of study and debate. So his best-known theory is called the born criminal. It proposed that criminals could be identified based on their physical appearance, and he coined the term atavistic features. He believed that certain individuals were born with physical and both mental traits that predispose them to engage in criminal behavior. According to Lombroso, the individuals exhibited traits that resembled earlier stages of human evolution, making them atavistic or primitive. So, in order to support this theory, Lombroso conducted extensive research examining over 4,000 offenders, dead and living, and comparing them to non-offenders. So through this work, he looked for physical markers such as body hair, teeth, abnormalities, asymmetrical face features, and then linked these traits to specific types of criminals. So for example, he associated thieves with certain facial characteristics. He associated murderers with cold stares and hawk-like noses, and then he said that sex offenders would have thick lips and protruding ears. His research also extended beyond just skulls and physical traits. With the help of his son-in-law, who really emphasized the social factors, he also explored the left-handedness and epilepsy theories. And he theorized that left-handedness and all left-sidedness were manifestations of atavism and was linked to insanity and, at the time, the term retardation. But obviously, we now know that these ideas are discredited, and was just the result of a lack of understanding of mental illness and learning disabilities. Again, with the help of his son in law, he started to kind of understand some of the importance of social and environmental factors. He was mostly a physical characteristic criminologist, but he did, with the help of Ferrero, his stepson, have a little bit of understanding of societal pressures and such like that to make a criminal. But despite his innovative ideas, his theories were always criticized. Many scholars now say that his emphasis on biological factors in criminal behavior was a result of complex social, physical, psychological interactions, and they also raised a lot of ethical concerns that his classification of born individuals was really just being stereotypical. So while his work is kind of controversial and now known to be debunked, it was definitely instrumental in shaping the trajectory of criminology. It laid the groundwork for subsequent scholars to build upon his ideas and explore how criminal behavior is really a multifaceted topic. His legacy lies not only in his specific theories, but more of his catalyst to be a critical thinker and give criminality kind of that empirical scientific view that it kind of lacked before Cesare. His work is going to serve as a reminder of the ever-evolving nature of scientific knowledge and the importance of continually questioning and reassessing our understanding of these complex phenomena such as crime. So some aspects of Cesare's work are still referenced and discussed by researchers, despite knowing that a lot of his studies were debunked. Mainly, he's just credited for using scientific methods in criminology and emphasizing that empirical evidence over moral arguments, which laid the foundation for more modern research methods, as we now know. His focus on the genetics and biology influencing criminal behavior has obviously played a role in that nature versus nurture debate in contemporary criminology and both psychology. Modern research recognizes the importance of social and environmental factors in explaining criminal behavior, leading to the development of more of a socioeconomic theory of crime. One of those theories that I investigated was called rational choice theory, which has widely replaced Lombroso's work, which just explains that criminals' behaviors are a result of individuals making a cost-benefit analysis to seek maximum utility. So while his contributions were influential in shaping early criminology and contemporary research continues to redefine those ideas, emphasizing the critical examination and empirical evidence in the study of criminal psychology.